The quiet forest path rustled under Yowun's cautious steps. His expression was cold, his eyes darting warily through the trees. Born to the lowest of the Lord's women, Cheon Yowun's life had been a relentless struggle for survival. Even within his own clan, assassins lurked behind every deceptive smile, eager to eliminate the concubine's son. Suddenly, 7 masked figures materialized from the shadows, their movements silent and swift. "Found you, bastard son," one hissed, their voices laced with venom. "The cult doesn't need trash like you." They had been waiting, ambushing him despite the promise he made not to learn martial arts and not to enter the demonic academy. Swords flashed, clashing against Yowun's dagger. His skill, though present, was no match for theirs. He managed to take one assassin by surprise, enraging the others, and forcing him backward, his breath ragged. He was cornered, outnumbered, and seemingly powerless. Just another doomed day for the forgotten son. As the assassins closed in, the air itself tore apart with a blinding beam of white light. Several attackers fell, their bodies rent by an unseen force. A figure descended, clad in strange armor, unlike anything of this era. The remaining assassins froze, their eyes wide with confusion. "Who are you?" they demanded, but their attack was met with overwhelming force. The stranger dispatched them with technology they couldn't even comprehend. "A descendant, from your future," the figure stated, his voice calm amidst the chaos. He moved faster than their eyes could follow. In a blur of motion, bones cracked, blood sprayed, and the assassins fell one by one. No martial art of this age, no weapon, could strike with such terrifying precision. When silence returned, the stranger approached Yowun. "You are my ancestor. I came to change your fate, and ensure our line survives." He offered a small device. Without hesitation, he injected a metallic liquid into Yowun's neck. Yowun gasped, clutching his throat as his body convulsed. The man's form began to fade into light. "Use it well, ancestor, and make life easy for your descendant." Then, he was gone, leaving Cheon Yowun with a new, terrifying, and exhilarating destiny. Yowun awoke in his small quarters, the soft hum of machinery subtly filling the silence. His body felt lighter, his senses sharper. Was that a dream? He wondered, his mind still reeling. Then, a voice echoed directly inside his mind. "Greetings, Master. Nano machine system, activated." Yowun froze. "Who's there?" "Show yourself," he demanded, his heart pounding. "I am Nano Machine, an artificial intelligence implanted within your body. My purpose is to assist your development." Shocked, he paced, muttering to himself, convinced it was the evil god of their clan speaking in his head. The Nano Machine, sensing his confusion, adjusted its language and sent basic knowledge of itself directly into his mind. Analyzing physical state. Internal wounds, minimal. Physical condition, improved. His wounds had healed, waste expelled, blood vessels rearranged, muscles and joints perfectly optimized for his body shape. He had no idea yet that this voice, this machine, was not a god, but an ancient technology that would irrevocably change his destiny. The stench was unbearable. His clothes were soaked with filth, black stains, remnants of what the Nano Machine had expelled from his body. Yowun stripped off the rags and stepped into the wooden bath, the water rippling as he sank into it, steam rising around his scarred skin. "Nano," he muttered, "just how much of my body can you heal?" Nano replied, "Master, your current recovery ability is 100% for minor wounds." Later, he entered the small study in his residence. Rows of untouched martial scrolls lined the shelves. He picked up a worn manual, opening it carefully. "Nano, can you read this?" Nano replied, "Yes, Master. Please flip through the pages slowly. I will scan and store all data." Page after page fluttered beneath his fingers as Nano's voice hummed in his head. Scan complete. Transferring knowledge to neural database. In that instant, information poured into his mind. Movement techniques, meridian flowcharts, breathing methods, everything the book contained. He closed the scroll slowly, a new light dawning in his eyes. The next morning, Yowun watched Jang practice simple martial forms in the courtyard. "Shall I analyze his movements?" Nano's voice asked. "You can do that?" Yowun whispered, astonished. "Affirmative. Beginning motion scan." A faint grid overlaid his vision. Nano's voice listed details: balance correction, muscle tension analysis, replication possible. Yowun began to mimic the moves. At first clumsy, then with startling precision. That night, he trained under Nano's relentless guidance, breathing control, posture correction, endurance tests. His body began to transform. And beneath the moonlight, the once powerless boy began his rebirth. The battle of the heirs was about to get very interesting, as the oppressor would soon become the oppressed. Academy opens days later. The towering gates of the demonic academy loomed before him. Hundreds of young heirs lined up, the proud sons and daughters of the 6 clans. At the very back stood Cheon Yowun, the illegitimate son. A guard stepped forward. "Your identification tag." They couldn't find his identity card. The six clans had already messed with it, unaware that a dragon was about to be forged. Whispers followed him as he walked through the crowd. That's the concubine's son. He won't last a day. He ignored them all, his gaze fixed forward. Up front, the right guardian scanned the rows, 6 clan heirs in front, and one lone figure standing defiantly behind them. The demonic lord himself appeared, towering and cold. His gaze fell briefly on Yo Woon, then passed over him, a fleeting moment of dismissal. Begin, the lord commanded. The right guardian stepped forward. To all new disciples of the demonic academy, your first test begins now. A woman stepped out, serene, graceful, deadly, the Sound clan elder. She raised her hand, summoning a zither. Her test was simple, yet cruel, to endure the spiritual pressure of a sound. The first note echoed, soft at first, then sharp as lightning. The ground trembled, the air rippling with power. Students clutched their heads, blood dripping from their ears. Cheon Yo Woon stood still, his body shaking, but his eyes unyielding. Energy disturbance detected. Shall I reinforce auditory defense? Nano's voice asked. Do it. A faint pulse ran through his veins. The nano machine adjusted his hearing, balancing his body against the waves of sound. In that sea of agony, Yo Woon remained standing as if nothing was happening, infuriating the Sound elder. She increased her tempo, affecting the others, including even the heirs from her own clan. Will Yo Woon be able to hold on while the Sound elder does her best to fail him? Or will he fall just like the rest have fallen? The courtyard still trembled under the Sound elder's invisible storm. Each note lashed out like a blade of sound, cutting through air and will alike. Yet one boy refused to fall. Cheon Yo Woon stood at the very center of the storm, his robes fluttering, his eyes burning with quiet resolve. Auditory defense holding. Neural balance stable. Shall I maintain counterfrequency? Nano machine asked, calm and precise. Do it, Yo Woon whispered, his voice strained. The vibration slammed into him again, louder, heavier, each note clawing at his mind. His body shook, blood vessels strained, but he didn't move. Most disciples had already collapsed. Some screamed, some fainted. But the concubine's son still stood. The Sound elder's calm mask finally cracked. Her fingers blurred across the strings, feeding more spiritual energy into each chord. The air itself seemed to twist. The ground vibrated beneath their feet. Nano machine warned. Warning. Energy pressure rising. Current endurance threshold, critical. Yo Woon clenched his jaw. Sweat beaded on his forehead. He could feel his bones creak under the sound waves. Then, just as the elder prepared to pour 50% of her internal energy into the next strike, a commanding voice cut through the chaos. Enough. The right guardian stepped forward, his crimson cloak whipping behind him. Sound elder, stop at once. You've proven your point. Any further, and this becomes slaughter. The Sound elder glared, fingers frozen above the strings. Slowly, the hum died away. Around them, barely a few students remained standing. The rest lay groaning or unconscious. Among the survivors, 6 clan heirs, and Cheon Yo Woon. In that instant, every gaze in the courtyard locked onto him. Nano machine spoke inside his mind. External threat neutralized. Shall I initiate recovery protocol? Yo Woon whispered under his breath. No. Not yet. Give me internal damage, minor, but visible. Make it look real. Understood, Nano replied. A jolt ran through his chest. Pain bloomed instantly. Blood rose in his throat. He coughed it out onto the ground. Gasps erupted from the students. The Red Guardian rushed to him. He knelt, pressing 2 fingers to Yo Woon's wrist. His eyes narrowed in disbelief. No internal energy at all, he murmured. The truth hit him. Cheon Yo Woon passed the sound test not with strength, but with sheer will. The Sound elder approached, her voice sharp but curious. What's his internal energy level? The Red Guardian stood slowly. None. Not a trace. He survived through sheer mental strength. A murmur spread through the elders. Some looked astonished. Others looked fearful. In the world of martial artists, where power defines worth, one boy had shattered their belief. No internal energy, yet unbroken. In the distance, the 6 clan heirs watched him with disbelief and fear. Among hundreds of heirs and prodigies, only one boy without internal energy endured the elder's wrath. The elder's expression tightened, though her eyes betrayed reluctant admiration. Yo Woon collapsed completely, his vision fading. As he was lifted and carried away, he whispered quietly to Nano Machine, "Don't heal me yet. If I recover too fast, they'll start asking questions." The Right Guardian gave the order to take him to the infirmary. The world faded into silence. When Yo Woon opened his eyes again, faint light poured through the infirmary curtains. The smell of herbs filled the air. His entire body ached, and even breathing felt heavy. The physician, a young man, eager to examine his patient, brows furrowed deeply. "This boy," the doctor muttered. "No flow of internal energy, yet he's alive. His body is damaged everywhere, and his nerves are almost burnt out. How could he have survived this test?" He mixed a bowl of medicine and placed it beside the bed, shaking his head. This one will take weeks to recover. But before the doctor could finish, a heavy step echoed at the doorway. A figure leaned against the doorframe, carrying the scent of alcohol and authority. The left guardian, known for his sharp tongue and unpredictable temper, had arrived. He stared at Yowoon's motionless body for a moment. "So," he said lazily, his voice deep and rough, "are you still going to keep pretending to be unconscious?" The room went silent. Yowoon's breathing remained slow and steady, his eyes still closed, but the guardian's smirk deepened. Still pretending, huh? He took another step closer, the floor creaking beneath his boots. The air around him carried both danger and curiosity, as if he already knew Yowoon's secret. The silence stretched. And then, what do you think will happen next? Will the left guardian expose Yowoon's secret? How will the nano machine continue to shape his destiny? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more incredible narrations. Your engagement helps this channel grow, and I can't wait to bring you the next chapter of Cheon Yowoon's epic journey. To be continued.